Hey, welcome back to the channel. Have Roots, Will Travel. My name is Lisa Elvin Stoltari, and I'm a genealogist and a passionate traveler. Over the last several years, I have been examining all of the Filles du Roi. We're not on episode 219 as I speak, and there are over 700 of them. So we'll see. I plan on doing all of them. So just if you have any that you'd like me to do, please send me a note. With that being said, let me show you ways you can support the channel. The first three keep you in the know. Subscribe, like, and notify. All that helps the logarithms and helps reach more and more people. And then the other way is ways you can make the channel grow, which is we have Patreon, which is a monthly subscription. And then we have Coffee, which is like just a one-time donation. And then you can also do a PayPal donation from my website if that's your choice, if that's something you're more comfortable with. And also remember that on my website, Have Roots Will Travel, you will have all the past episodes as well linked to the YouTube, so it's easy to find alphabetically and numerically. So have a look at that. So with that being said, I also want to put a shout out to Shelby for helping me so much with the artwork that's in these current episodes. So thank you for your contribution. I really am just so grateful. So let's get to know episode 219 and find out all about the newest Filles du Roi. So episode 219, her name, Jeanne Claude de Boisandre, and she is a viewer request, and she's also another grandmother of my genealogy associate. So I just happen to be doing a lot of yours. So without further ado, let's get to know Jeanne Claude. Jeanne Claude was born in 1635 in Cannes, France, part of the Saint-Jean parish. Her parents were Jacques de Boisandre, Sœur de l'Ormelie, and Marie Douville. Cannes is found in the Normandy region of France, inside the Calvados department. Remember, that's the county. And it is the third largest city in Normandy with over 105,000 people. It's existed since Roman time, and it remained relatively small until the 10th century when William the Conqueror constructed the Château de Cannes. Over the next few hundred years, Cannes would go back and forth between France and England. I was not able to confirm where Jeanne Claude was baptized, but we assume it is part of the Saint-Jean parish. So she had a first marriage in France. She married Pierre Rancourt and was widowed by 1667. She had one son, Noel Joseph, who was born in 1655. He would go on to marry Marie Parent and have 9 children, 5 of whom would make it. He would then marry Françoise de Vaux and have 3 children, all of whom would make it. So she would, after being widowed, she would arrive in Quebec, September 25th, 1667, aboard Le Saint-Louis de Dieppe for Quebec. She is found in the 1667 census with her sister, Catherine de Boisandre. She's listed as their servant, and I've looked at several volumes, and they all kind of indicate this was a mistake. And her son was not listed there as well. So remember, a census is only as good as a census taker. So the second groom that she would select, and who would select her, his name was Louis Lachaise de Georges d'Amboise, born in 1639 in Amboise, France. His parents were Louise Lachaise and Marie Georgette. Now remember Lachaise, for those of you who don't speak French, Lachaise really means the chair or the sofa for some. Amboise is found in the Centre-Val de Loire region of France, in the Indre-et-Loire department. Historically, it can date itself to the 5th century and was once the area where the French royals and their court would reside. The Château, as Amboise pictured on your bottom left, was where Mary, Queen of Scots, called home. Leonardo da Vinci lived at Château du Clos between 1516 and 1519, and he is buried in a crypt near the Château d'Amboise. The Edict of Amboise, 1563, is an important part of the religious history. The church, the parish church, was the Church of Saint Denis pictured, which you can see on your bottom left, and it dates from the 12th to the 15th century. Louis arrived in New France as a soldier with the Carignan-Salers region. He was part of the Contre-Cœur, company and arrived on August 17th, 1665. Jeanne Claude would marry October 31st, 1667 in Quebec City. Let's talk a little bit about Quebec City. It's the capital of the province of Quebec. 500,000 people live directly in Quebec City. It was originally named by the Algonquins, who named the area Quebec, which in their native tongue means where the river narrows. Quebec City lies where the St. Lawrence River narrows. Samuel de Champlain founded Quebec City in 1608, making Quebec City one of the oldest cities in North America and the only city with remaining city walls, the walls that would fortify the city. There's so much to see in Quebec City, but I wanted to point out a couple of places. La Maison Jacquette is the oldest private residence in Quebec. It dates from 1675, and in fact, it's a famous restaurant, appropriately called Aux Anciens Canadiens, roughly translated to our old Canadians. And Auberge Place d'Armes is also a very, very, scenic place to go. We also have the Petit Champlain, which is part of what is known as probably the oldest shopping center in North America. So this is a really amazing, special town. It's a little bit, my husband considers it like a little bit of Europe. Montreal is very European, but Quebec is beyond that because it's really comparable to Europe in its history. Although compared to Europe, it's a young pup, but still, for us in North America, definitely part of it. Fortunately, within 6 months, Louis had died. We do not have a death record, but we know that it occurred before January 15th, 1668. So there is a third husband. His name is Jacques Le Tourneau. He was born in 1647 in Meuron, France. His parents were David Le Tourneau and Sébastien Guéry. You can see he's part of the Nouvelle-Aquitaine, and he is part of the Département de Charente-Maritime. There's about 1,500 people who live there now. The church, St. Sixtus Church, has existed. That church has existed since the end of the 8th or the beginning of the 9th. And obviously has been redone and redone and redone. And so really, really old church. Remember I was talking about the fact that Quebec City was old. This ain't, this is what we're talking about. And this is just a picture on the bottom right of what this small community looks like today. Jeanne Claude and Jeanne would settle at Ile d'Orléans. Jeanne's life would be cut short, and sometime between 1669 and 1671, Jeanne would pass away. She would be between 34 and 36 years of age. Just, it's heartbreaking. So here are some of my favorite resources. I haven't talked about the Quebec Genealogical E-Society. I really like that E-Society because obviously it's all online. It doesn't matter where you live. And they have regular meetings and just a really special place in terms of different webinars they do and the resources they have. Have a look at it before you join. I'm sure you'll be convinced that it's a very good place to start your research. Don't you think that Jeanne Claude is an amazing woman to have 3 husbands and 1 child? And you know how many descendants she had? Still 49 descendants come from her son, her 1 son. And it's just remarkable. I think she just kept going on. And, was just a very strong survivor. And remember, back then it wasn't a woman's world, it was a man's world. And she needed certainly the power of men to be able to continue. She had a young son to support and came across as a fille du roi and ultimately was not able, her first husband died within 6 months, and then the last husband, at that time, she probably was just probably not able to bear any more children. But we salute her and we thank her for her bravery and her courage. Just remarkable. Thank you to the viewer who suggested I review this fille du roi. I think she was remarkable. I also want to thank my subscribers and patrons. Thank you so much for helping me and supporting me and sending me all kinds of notes and suggestions and things like that. I really feel a lot of times when I'm doing this, it feels very alone. And so the fact that you all reach out to me really helps. Any of you, all the subscribers, thank you so very, very much because your words and your likes and all that really help me so much. So thanks again, and I'll see you on episode 220 of Les Filles du Roi. Until then, au revoir.